It's a really deep sort of feeling. You have this raw lump of clay that's come out of the earth, and then you're moulding that into something and it transforms. It's a bit of who you are inside. We were in rural Victoria. We were dairy farmers. When things got stressful, my husband really became violent, and he'd end up taking it out on me. And then also our son. And then the night that we ended up having to flee the house, he was actually wanting to kill my son, our son. And we left with absolutely nothing. We walked a long way. We went to the police station in a local town, and then we had to go back with the police and get the car and my medications. Sadly, that was all we were allowed to get. We don't have family here or anything. We just had absolutely nowhere to go. The only place we could sort of think of that was safe was the car park at McDonald's. We took McDonald's as our home there for 3 weeks, and we could use their facilities, good lighting, and also their electricity. At that time, my health was very poor. I was on many medications. I was on a feeding machine for liquid foods that I had to keep hooking up to. Some people might just sort of think, well, why didn't you go and, tell a friend? It's that stigma behind, you're homeless. My son was just so scared that it would get out what had happened. So you pretend that things are okay, but they're not. My husband actually shut down our joint bank accounts. You leave with absolutely nothing is so hard. You lose your whole life. Looking back, I always think, how did we do it? But at that time, it was all we had to work with. At McDonald's, we'd use their Wi-Fi because, of course, we had no data. We couldn't afford our phones at all. And we found Vinnies. They were so supportive. It gave us a little bit of hope. They hooked us up with a safe house. Then Jane and Jean from St. Vinnies, they turned up and they were just so friendly, happy, no judgment. And that helped us wherever possible. We had rent-free there for a year while we sort of got our feet back on the ground, and my son was able to then finish his building apprenticeship. If we ended up homeless again because we couldn't afford rent or anything like that, things would have turned out extremely different. The support from Vinnies, not just financially, but also that friendly faces, has had a huge impact. You realise actually when you're coming out of it, you can be strong, but you need that support of people. That one turned out really well. I don't know what I did in that. It's just beautiful. A really growing issue is women over 50, they've ended up having to take all their super out to be able to, get through a bit of their life once they've fled domestic violence, and they end up homeless. I started doing the pottery thinking in mind that I don't have any super, so I needed to be able to pay that rent. I've now set up a little studio and loving creating beautiful pieces for, making people happy. Just to have that beautiful product at the end, it's what you've been through, and then handing that on, it's nice to be able to sort of let that go. If we can just, keep this going really well, this little pottery business, it gives us a really good outlook on life.